in line for the healing circle. So welcome to the Claims of Truth Healing Circle. And first thing I'm going to do is cast a circle of light, specifying that only Source, Creator, God, my healing team, and the support teams of Melchizedek, Moriah, and the luminaries be present as needed for the Claims of Truth Healing Circle, the April 1st edition of it, where we are going to be looking at, it's not truly a claim of truth, but it comes from the book of Knowing and Worth. I think there's probably some people here who have not heard of Paul Selig, and you will definitely hear about him and this book tonight. But the claim of truth that I keep saying is not really a claim of truth, because it comes from page 108, and it is a sentence that says, "You forgive yourself for not knowing any better than you did at the time." Yeah, forgive yourself for not knowing any better than you did at the time. And yes, indeed, this is April Fool's, but there is no joke about it. We are definitely going to be working on forgiveness and love, and we'll be talking about wonder, joy, and trust too, because oh my gosh, life's just not complete if you aren't talking a little bit about trust. So may it be with the blessing of Source that we just continue to forgive ourselves. We continue to take our bodies, our minds, our higher selves up in frequency, and know that we are all forgiven, that we are all love, that we are all joy, that this is an amazing love story that we are busy having here. Whew. And with that, we say amen and aho. So, we have several of you that are new to the Claims of Truth Healing Circle. Welcome. It is great to have you here. We actually have a new mastery of your information class starting tomorrow night, the very first class of level 1. And I'm sure all of you have at least one story to tell about what it was like to start that very first class in mastery. So I was so excited when I asked about inviting them, and I got a yes to that, because one of the benefits of the healing circle is to be in community, right? To be in community with other people who understand this healing alchemy, who are really interested in taking their bodies, their minds, their higher selves, their souls up in frequency. And being in community and the healing circle is definitely one of those ways. So the healing circle happens every other Monday night, opposite of Noah, a night of alchemical healing. And I love that you all are putting into the chat about, you being new here or your first experience. Athena, I think that's really interesting. You tell this story that it was an email from me and from Leanne B. And yeah, Athena actually, I think Athena, you knew Leanne, and I met you through when we were doing these, they were probably a little bit of a precursor to the healing circle, at least my version of it. We were doing a book club when Athena came in, and that's when we were doing it in person. And so now we have been online. Of course, everybody's been online before, so right? It is great to have all of you here. And yeah, I see Joanna and Janelyn and Krista. Did I miss anybody there? Who is new, who's going to be Cindy, who's going to be starting Mastery tomorrow night. Welcome, welcome. So what we do is we look at these books, and if you have heard of Paul Selig before, whether you've read one of his books or not, please feel free to put it in the chat. You can just say, yes, I've heard of him. That would be awesome. So we have an idea of how many people know of who Paul Selig is. And in the meantime, I will tell you that Paul Selig, he actually has, I believe, 11 books out. And Paul channels Melchizedek. Melchizedek is the High Council of Source, and that is the same group that Care Torres talks about when she talks about her healing team, and it's also the same group that Kat and I work with when we do mastery. And his very first book was I Am the Word, and that was written, I think, in like 2008. And since then, it's basically pretty much almost a book a year lately. So he has 11 books, and this book, the Book of Knowing and Worth, is the third book. Right? Yeah, the third book that he put out. And so I love that. I know Cindy has read a lot of his books as well. And this particular book, the Book of Knowing and Worth, is a book that Elaine is leading a book club on the Healing Alchemy app that I have called Upward. If you want more information about that, happy to give you that later as well. And so we are looking at this sentence about forgiveness, forgiving yourself for not knowing any better. And it was really interesting to me that this one showed up because, of course, I had this whole moment of, oh, it was just Easter, and, you know, forgiveness is probably the theme of it all. And then I realized that forgiveness is an awesome thing for us to do regardless of what time of year it is. And we're talking about forgiveness first and foremost for ourselves, and then forgiveness for everyone else. And so the way that the guides talk about it, Paul channels all of the information here. So this is information that they have been giving to Paul. It's like, now why do you need to forgive yourselves? You must forgive yourself, you know, for not knowing any better than you did at the time that you make something so. If you can do this much, you can release yourself from a magnitude of contention that you have created against the self. A magnitude of contention. And so I think about that magnitude of contention is the stuff that we are busy carrying around, blaming ourselves for that time we lost our temper, for that time that we lied, for that time that we cheated or stole, or, you know, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what the offense is, and I put that in quotes, that offense, because in truth, there's really never anything that we do that is an offense. There's not an offense to Source, Creator God. There may be lots of offenses to people out in the world, right? If I went and lied to somebody, they might be really offended. But there is this element that is so important for us to remember, is that everything happens exactly as it was designed to happen. Now, for those of you who just got a little, what are you talking about? That's not true. You know, we call that being a little triggered. That's okay, because there's always a healing available to us where we get triggered. Trust me, I've been taking healings all day on things where I have been getting triggered. But the idea is that everything happens for our growth and evolution. everything that has ever happened to you from the moment you were born till the moment you take that last breath, it is designed for your growth and your evolution. And we're talking about from a spiritual perspective, because of course we're busy having experiences in our lives. We're getting married, we're getting divorced, we're having children, we're in relationship with lots of people, we are working, we are playing, we are doing all kinds of things. But it is really key from a spiritual perspective, from an energetic perspective, that we understand that everything happens for our growth and our evolution. For our teachings is how we will often say it. For our teachings, right? For us to go, oh, now I understand that. Yeah. And for the healing opportunity that it is. So whatever it is, there's always a healing available to us. Wow, that's a lot. Jenna, I love that. Couldn't be more perfect timing. It is exactly what we're talking about, divine timing. Everybody who feels like they could teach a course on how to beat themselves up, feel free to pop it into the chat if you'd like, because I know whether you actually put it in the chat or not, that applies to every single one of us. My particular forte is where I think I always get it wrong. Doesn't matter if it's so clear that that is the right way to do it, that's what I'm guided to do. I'm like, I know I'm going to screw it up. I know it's going to be wrong. I know there's going to be a problem with it. Right? That's my particular jam. So we get to take healings on that. And the first thing we're going to do for tonight, since it is a healing circle, I think it's quite apropos, is that we're actually going to form a circle. Now, obviously, we're not forming a physical circle, we are forming an energetic circle. And we're all standing in this circle. And if you want to take a moment to, look to your left and look to your right, send a little love to the person who is on your right and a little love to the person who is on the left. You may have an awareness of who it is. You can actually look at the list of people and be like, oh, I know I'm standing next to you. I don't know who you are, but I know I'm standing next to you. So, yeah. That would be perfect. Keely, apropos, it is so appropriate. Apropos, so appropriate. Apropos, it's so apropos. I don't know where that, sometimes words pop out of my mouth and I'm like, that's an interesting word choice. So appropriate. Thanks for asking, Keely. I appreciate that. Athena, you've been overthinking and also thinking you might mess things up. Yes, absolutely. And lately, I've been seeing all those places where I'm like, oh, wow, that's a great healing opportunity. I hadn't thought of that one before. Oh, yeah, I see. I see where I was going with that. I can see where I was about to go down the slippery slope of overthinking and thinking I messed it up, but I caught it in time. So it's awesome. Awesome. Ashley, I love that you like Athena's on one side of you and Krista's on the other side of you. That is fabulous. And it does not absolutely have to make sense. Anybody who has that urge to sit down and do a diagram like, okay, Ashley's here and that means Athena is here and Krista is here. So if I say Krista and Athena, then that's not going to work, right? It's all perfect. It's all perfect. Yeah. You just have an awareness. It's one of those fun places where you get to just kind of ask, so who's standing next to me? And you can look at the list and be like, oh, yeah, I see that. Pardon me, I'm only undressing just a little. It got really warm in here, which of course, if it does, downloads are coming in, and downloads and healing are always warm. They will heat you up like nobody's business. You'll be like, whew, whew, it is warm in here. And you may have the experience of of being really cold where you're like, I can't put enough clothes on. And that happens as well. That's when low frequencies are moving out. Low frequencies are cold. You may be moving out fear or pain or anger or unworthiness. And there are times when I just can't get warm. And that's okay too. Some of you may notice like some tingling going on. Some of you may have some other awareness, and please, please, please feel free to pop it into the chat if you have any of that going on. I'm happy to help you understand that. Awesome. Yeah, lots of downloads coming in. There are lots of healing alchemy is coming in. There's a lot of love. It's also, we'll talk about it being rapture. It's a little bit higher level of love, rapture. There's a lot of union frequency coming in because we really are all connected. And so when we have more union, we kind of have a sense of we're being more connected. And because we're all standing in this circle, union frequency is a great one to have. So we're all standing in a circle. You may or may not have an awareness of the people who are standing next to you. Maybe you have an awareness of somebody across from you. In the center of this circle, there is a violet flame, and it is the color purple. It is a violet flame. That violet is transformation frequency. And one of the beautiful aspects of having a violet flame sitting in the middle of our circle is that you can feel free to unload whatever it is that you have been carrying around. So if you've been carrying around a lot of anger for yourself with some way that you've responded in a relationship, in an argument, a disagreement, a conversation, whatever it is, and you are like, whoa, I have such an awareness of this thing coming up for me, you can feel free to just toss it into that violet flame. It is an energetic flame, but what it does is it transforms what you put into there. So the minute you put in some anger in there, you just surrender it into the flame, it starts to transform. And if you tune in to yourself, you may have an awareness that you're like, oh, I feel just a little lighter. Oh gosh, it just feels like I'm not carrying that heavy burden around. Now, if you're like me, when I first started this, I was like, oh no, I don't understand. I'm not sure if I agree with any of that stuff, but okay, I'll just keep, tossing things in there. I'm sure somebody is on it. That's okay too. You might not have any awareness whatsoever, but trust me, your higher self is on it. Your higher self is like, yes, let me let this go and that go, and we don't need this anymore. And in fact, one of you, yeah, it's a whole lot more. There are a couple of you that look like you are in the closet, and you're like tossing stuff left and right. Like, okay, I don't need this anymore. This doesn't fit me anymore. This isn't serving me. I'm ready to get rid of that. You can certainly do all that. It's so very, very awesome to do. Yep, Cindy, that uncertainty makes total sense, and you can certainly surrender more of that into that violet flame. That place where you're like, I'm not too sure, I don't know how this is gonna go, I'm not really sure how it's gonna unfold, if I'm gonna like it, if I'm gonna feel comfortable with it. It's okay. You just keep surrendering, surrendering, surrendering that. Joanna, you can surrender that fear that is creating a lot of exhaustion for you. It's like your burden, you're carrying it around. I see it like there are several of you. There are a lot of us carrying like those backpacks. Some of us are carrying like these like parachutes, like we're ready to jump, kind of backpacks. Some of us are carrying what kind of looks like I'm going to say it kind of looks like the old-fashioned hobo, like there's a stick and has the bag on the end of it and we're carrying it along. And some of us have these really heavy ones, like the kind that's like the stick that goes across our back and we're busy carrying all these loads. And those can all be let go. You can just go, okay, I'm tired of carrying this one. I'm just going to put that in the flame. And if you have an awareness of that flame going from purple to pink to blue to green, you may have an awareness of it. And if you do, you're not getting that wrong either, because as we surrender things, we'll see the colors change. Janelin, yes. Saw myself with a backpack filled with all the negativity. Yeah, look at all those words. Words, words, words. Negative, negative, negative. That's normal. It is truly normal. We live on a planet that some aspect of us is just used to negativity. We don't even like tune into it anymore. It just like comes in, we go, oh yeah, that's normal, and then we hold on to it. And so it's a great thing to release. Awesome awareness, Jenilyn, that's awesome. Okay, Ash goes, yes, I'm bringing requests to the party. Thank you, Ashley. Extra grateful for a healing on the fear in your sternum and throat, as well as the atheist in the brainstem. Absolutely. Fear is the big low frequency on this planet. Fear, fear, fear. We have loads of it, and it can show up like anxiety. It can show up like unworthiness. It can show up like pain. It can show up like a lot of different things. And so we're going to absolutely give you a healing on that, for sure. And then we have the atheist energy. The atheist energy, wow, it's such an interesting one. We call atheist energy that energy of doubt, that energy of you're making it up, that it can't possibly be true. I have a lot of swelling in my fingers lately, and when I tell certain people, they're like, oh yeah, that is arthritis. And I'm like, yeah, it's not really arthritis. It's a lot of low frequencies in my hands that I'm busy moving out. But I catch myself every once in a while going, I wonder if I ate too many bananas. Yeah, it could be that I ate like yesterday I ate like 3 bananas, and that could be creating, some pain in my fingers. Y'all can laugh at me. And then I was like, oh, I bet you I'm not drinking enough water. I drank more water. And then, was that yesterday? Yesterday, I drank. I had a couple of drinks. I had 2 glasses of wine over a long period of time, just so y'all don't judge me. And so last night it was, my fingers hurt because I drank too much. All of that is atheist energy, right? I want to attribute it to something else other than what it is. And in fact, there's a lot of atheist energy that has been stored for a really long time in my hands, and I'm finally getting to move more of that. So hopefully that's a understandable explanation of atheist energy. And Ash, we are happy to move that out of your brainstem, as well as give everybody a healing where they have some atheist energy. If you'd like, feel free to ask yourself. You just go, okay, do I have any atheist energy? And see what shows up. You may get a no, and that will definitely be some things that we can move out because we all have atheist energy. But see, that's a healing in itself. It's perfect. Whew. All right. So you're unloading your burdens, judgments, blame, shame, anger, guilt. Feel free. If you really want to put it in the chat and share that, you absolutely can. But please, please, please know that all of those low frequencies are being unloaded into that violet flame. So freaking cool. Jill, I am happy to help you with that backpack of unworthiness. Not your color, not in style. Nobody needs that kind of unworthiness. And we are going to help everybody with unworthiness, whatever it looks like. Looks like some of you have unworthiness. You have unworthiness in your feet. I'm like, there are some ugly shoes of unworthiness on our feet. We're going to move more of that. There's also some of you are wearing hats that look like they're just filled with unworthiness, and I see like the band going across the hat that is like, you know, I'm unworthy, so don't need those anymore. Happy to move those as well. Amanda, your atheist energy is in your pituitary. Absolutely. That is a great thing to move out of your pituitary gland. It's in your brain. So we have some downloads coming in. Some sapphire blue, that's the worthiness frequency. There are new, wow, how do we know? There are new, come on man, what are you doing? Like hat bands, hat bands coming in for everybody. They sort of look like if it was Miss America, like those kinds of, what are those things called? Who's got that word? You know, the things, those things that are coming in. Sash, thank you. Sashes that are coming in for everyone. Different versions of I am worthy. It may be a sash that goes over you might be wanting to put it over your sternum. You might want to be putting it around your head. You might have a place in your arm that you want to put it. That worthiness, worthiness, worthiness. Some of you are putting them, this is really cool. Some of you are putting those sashes in like your ankles, and because it doesn't have to make sense, right? Sometimes we really want it to make sense. We want to be like, okay, well, I'm going to put worthiness right here in my sternum because this is where, and it might go in your big toe, and you just go, okay, that's what I'm doing next. So Yeah, Krista, we all have loads of unworthiness, and it's one of the things that I love the most about healing alchemy is that things that I have been working on for a long, long time. If you don't know it, I'm 58 years old. I've been working on some things for a really long time. And one of the things I love about healing alchemy is that I have transformed more things in the 8 years that I have been doing this kind of healing work than I think I did in the previous 50 years. Now, there's a lot that accounts for that. The frequency of the planet is going up, and so that certainly accounts for it. But yeah, we're happy to give you a healing on that. Awesome. Do, 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 do. Joanna, we're happy to give you some support in finances. Watch this. For all of you who have heard Care say, as they say in the Deep South, watch this. I'm going to bring in some more abundance frequency, some more wonder frequency, some more inspiration frequency, all awesome frequencies to help where we get really stuck about our finances. So we're all still in that circle. We've been unloading loads and loads of low frequencies, places that we wanted to forgive ourselves. And you are welcome to dump some stuff to forgive others. Do you have one of those things that you've been holding on to where you're like, oh my gosh, the first person who shows up is my sister-in-law. I need to forgive her. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest with you, what I need to forgive her for. Yeah. But I'm going to surrender that as well. I think, to be honest with you, I'm really mad at her for how her life has turned into, because I feel like she's married to my brother, and I'm like, he deserves so much more, and she has just had a lot of health issues, and that is the direction that her higher self is taking her in. And so it's really silly that I am pissed off at her for her living her life, right? Doesn't have to make sense. It's just, oh yeah, wow, I'm really ticked off at you for choices that you made. Okay, I don't want anybody being pissed off at me for the choices I've made, so I'm going to surrender more of that. And Amanda, I see that transformation happening on that victim frequency. I love that sombrero you're wearing is starting to transform. And there are a lot of frequencies here for us to work with. And trust me when I say your higher self is like, yes, 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 I'll take some of that and some of that and some of that. You are absolutely taking care of business on that level, whether you are aware of it or not. It's one of the things I love. I don't have to worry it. It's being handled. So you can feel free to ask who you are inviting in to forgive. Or perhaps there's somebody that you are like, I really want to ask them for their forgiveness. this is the perfect place. There are a lot of high frequencies for you to work with. That forgiveness frequency is what we call Christ consciousness. It's electric blue, and it is an amazing frequency to transform forgiveness. Now, if I'm going to be truthful, there's really never anything to forgive, right? Because everything happens exactly as it's designed to. But we really love to be able to transform that. So you may have some awareness of that blue frequency. That is the Christ consciousness. Gentlemen, a lot of that hot mess that you see is a lot of self-judgment, and a lot of that is showing up in your third eye right now. We do not have to hold self-judgment in our third eye, just in case there may be somebody who's like, oh, that's where it always is. In fact, if you would like, feel free to ask yourself where you are holding the most self-judgment. Where are you holding the most judgment of yourself? Mine is my right hip. Who knew? And it doesn't even bother me. So, Janelyn, self-judgment. I see it in your, really? I really want to say something other than this, but this is the information I'm getting, is the cranial nerve. I don't know what that is, the cranial nerve. I'm actually seeing it like in the back of your head. Like I wanted to go, it's brainstem. And I'm like, no, it's the cranial nerve. We're giving that a healing, as well as I get an opportunity to take a healing on that. Cindy, I really love that analogy that your higher self is giving you of a wilted flower coming back to life. It's a perfect analogy, right? That's really what we all are, right? The wilted flower coming back to life. We have this idea that we're like, oh, it's just not enough. There's not enough for me. And then we come back to life and we're like, woo, jamming, right? Cool. And look at the flowers coming in. So you can grab a flower if you'd like. That is available. And seriously, I know there's a whole next level of like, really? There's flowers coming in? Yes. You can put out your hand and you can grab a flower, 2, 5, 10, doesn't matter. And you can ask your higher self what kind of flowers are coming in for you. I have pink petunias. Pink petunias. Ashley, purple and yellow daffodils. How fabulous. I'm going to put my pink petunias in my brainstem. Krista, purple lilies. Ooh. Cindy, violets. Yes. See, isn't it fun? It's like really fun when you go, oh my gosh, I can see those. Jill has red roses. It's fabulous. And each of those flowers that are coming in are different frequencies. And you may notice like Jill's red roses, like I could say, oh, well, red is freedom frequency. Well, red is also passion. Red is also the frequency of splendor. So you can ask what frequencies are in your flowers. You can also just trust that whatever shows up is exactly what you need. And you can put that wherever your higher self directs. Amanda says, the red hippie style flower that I used to make with my mother. That's cool. How awesome is that? And I do see you all inviting people in to forgive. Amanda's inviting her half-brother Jamie. Joanna's inviting her cousins. Each of you has like people that you are inviting in. I love that. That you're just like, oh yeah, I want to forgive that. I have a number of you that are like, yo, I could use some help with my throat. So that's what I'm sitting here working on. Also got a whole team that is working on them, but I see those throats. There's a lot of people like, my throat hurts. That was me. Like an hour ago, I was like, wow, what's going on? Am I starting to get sick? Nah. Just low frequencies. Krista, this is yours too. Excellent. Amanda, I love that your husband Tom jumps on. Blue plumbago flowers. I love those. Zebra longwing butterflies floating around. Man, transformation. And of course, for all of you, whether we ever say it or not, we are clearing karma and agreements. We are reassigning beings. We are working on your chakras, working on all those things. I don't know who it was who was telling me a story that a friend of theirs went in to get a healing from somebody who doesn't know anything about this work. And the person said, oh my God, you have the cleanest chakras ever. I was like, of course they do. Because if you sit in any one of these healing alchemy classes, you are constantly getting your chakras cleaned. Usually we're replacing chakras, all of your auric layers. There's a lot of work that goes on that we don't talk about. Glad to see there's a bunch of throats that are being worked on. So, this forgiveness thing, I just think this is so awesome. When I read this in the book of Knowing and Worth, when I read this, the next page over from where the claim of truth comes, is that to punish the self again and again for a thing thought, a deed done, an action taken, is to harm the self again and again, and the reenactment of this creates damage not only to you, but for those you encounter. I'm on page 109, Athena. It's the chapter called This Incarnation. So every time you punish yourself for something that you thought, something that you did, you are actually harming yourself again and again. And when you reenact it, you replay it. I'm probably the only person who does that, right? You lay in bed at night, and as you're getting ready to go to sleep, you're like, why did I say that? That was just such a terrible thing to say. I could have said this, and if I had said that, and then this would have happened, right? Every time you do that, you are creating damage not only to you, but to everybody that you encounter. Everybody that you encounter. You're holding on to that thing. So the next morning when you wake up after that whole everybody that you encounter is getting a piece of that, is carrying around like, oh, wow, look at that. Yeah. So we want to forgive ourselves as much as we can. We want to forgive ourselves for anything that we ever said, did, thought, right? You just go, okay, I'm just going to surrender more of it. Whatever it is. Whatever it is, I'm just going to surrender more of it. Right there. And probably most of you know that my mom passed away a week and a half ago. And, you know, my mom was just like everybody else in the world. She had a lot of things that she held on to her entire life, thinking that she did wrong. And in the last few days of her life, I watched all of those things popping up for her energetically. And I kept saying to her, you know, you're totally forgiven. Not by me. I mean, certainly anything she thought she did to me was immediately forgiven, but all of those things were forgiven because they were only perceptions that she had. They weren't real things. Just like all of the things that you and I are holding on to, all of those issues that we're holding on to, they're just ideas. They're just thoughts that we did something wrong, that we said something we shouldn't have said. It's so cool. Thank you, Joanna. I appreciate that. But it was the most incredible experience of my life to date, to see how she never did anything wrong. There was never anything that she did. All of it were just thoughts. And in the end, all that was there was love. And I watched the gifting that happened. The gifts and the healing and everything that was done. And in the end, the only thing that was left was love. And it is true for us right now, here today. You don't have to be taking your last breath for it to be true. It's all that there really is love. That's it. All the rest is just stuff we assigned meaning to. Oh my God, I can't believe you did that. I don't know what that, okay. That was just an opportunity to get a teaching and a healing. And 2 weeks ago, and if you all want to go back, you can watch it on YouTube. I'm happy to give you the link for it. The claim of truth that we worked with is, this is a teaching of love. This is a gift for each of you. This is a teaching of love. It is true for all of these things that we're holding on to. All of these things are just teachings of love. That's all it is. You just keep going. Okay. Love more, care less. Love more, care less. Love more, care less. Thanks, David. For those of you who don't know, it's not a coincidence that David has the same last name as me. That's my husband that's sitting in the healing circle tonight, and it was an awesome experience. Awesome experience. So, love is all there is. It's Very cool. So we do 3 things in the Claims of Truth Healing Circle. Actually, we do a whole lot more than that, but I like trying to make it really simple. Healings for ourselves, healings for others, and healings for the field. The field is all around us all the time. And the more we give healings to ourselves, the more we affect the people around us, and the more we affect the field. As the field goes up in frequency, everything starts to transform. In the last few years, the quantum field has gone up in frequency so much. It's one of the reasons why it looks so crazy out there, and why sometimes your brain is busy trying to make sense of stuff that just doesn't fit anymore, right? Because the world is constantly changing. New rules, new ways of doing things. It's really amazing on one level. So here we are. We're going to work on the field just a little bit. And if you do not yet have the frequency to create what you need, the really cool thing is that your higher self knows where to go to get somebody to help. So this is how we work on the field. Ask, what frequency does the field around you need more of? What do you feel like the world needs more of? You can say it however you want. Certainly the world needs more forgiveness. So I'm going to work with that forgiveness frequency. And I'm going to ask that more forgiveness be put out into the field, in whatever the field needs. Now, that may show up like the oceans need more forgiveness frequency. David says, easy peasy kindness. Absolutely. Kindness. Kindness can be like more love. Kindness can be more clarity, right? Where people maybe aren't quite so unconscious to the things they say. I actually just assigned kindness to people. That might not be what he wanted to assign it to. Amanda says, I asked the question and I keep getting back peanuts. I don't understand this. And Amanda, I love that. The reason why I laugh is because I feed peanuts to birds in my backyard and to squirrels in my backyard all the time. And so I would say that peanuts is for me, it's a version of love and a version of abundance. But check with your higher self and see what you get for that. Cindy says acceptance. Yeah. Acceptance can, for me, can also look like worthiness, right? Self-acceptance, acceptance of others, people who are different. Yeah. And you just ask for more of that to be put out into the field. And you know, each and every one of you, as you say those words create the energy. So if we did nothing but sit around for an entire hour and just say, love, 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 you can try it. Because holy cow, me just saying it those few times, I'm like, oh, I can feel that. Love, 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 love. We're putting that out into the field. Jill, yes, trust, 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 trust. And Amanda, it's got the abundance, abundance, yeah. And awareness, absolutely awareness is an awesome one. Do, 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 do. Sometimes awareness looks like union frequency, like understanding that we're all connected. We all have these gold lines of like thread that connect all of us. We're all connected into the quantum field, and we're all connected to each other. And sometimes awareness can look like that. Yes. Gentleman just asked me if the healings carry over to your household and to your people. Absolutely. What we do for one, we do for all. So yeah, it's really cool, right? Happy to give more healings and gifts to all. Include your pets too. Usually I have my cat Sebastian up here. I don't know what it is that he is not hanging out here. He loves energy. So we're gifting the field with all the frequencies that you all are talking about. And actually, I see those frequencies going in. Let's see, what analogy am I going to use? Oh, wow, it's so cool. It's like, so the quantum field is like a grid system. If you can picture this grid system, just lines of energy going across like this, and they go down like this. And when you all say the words, I see the words coming in, and they're like a little, almost like a little spark, a little energy that goes in there, and then you can watch it like go along the lines, the grid system. So it's really cool, and it's one of the reasons why we when we monitor our thoughts, and we monitor our words, the words that we speak, like when we just start paying attention to those things, right? When we start noticing how we talk and how we think, it's one of the reasons why the quantum field starts to change. The energy around the planet starts to change, because there's more love going into that, and it's going into all those little energetic lines. And then that continues to carry. It doesn't just like stop at the end of my screen. It doesn't just stop at the end of as long as my fingers are. It continues to go on and on and on. I remember probably 5 years ago, I asked Care about the music that my friend Robin plays. She's a brilliant pianist, concert pianist. And we were talking about how when she plays, you know, the music comes out. And I said, where does it go? And she said, watch it. And you watch the music go up and you go out, and it goes out of her window, and the trees catch it. And then one tree passes it to the next tree, passes it to the next tree, passes it to the birds. And it just continues to go out and out and out. And it never stops. Now, if that's true with Robin's music, it's true with each and every one of you. Everything that you are speaking, it goes out into the field and is caught into that quantum field, and just continues on and on. So you go, love, 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 watch it all. So very cool. So very cool. So we're also working on everybody's nervous system, more grace. I had a note down here. I was watching that, working on everybody's nervous system, giving it all more grace. That really helps us with the whole, and if you're short-tempered, probably not any of you, just me. You know, when you just feel like I just can't take anything more. Working on your nervous system. Okay. God, you all are so good. So cool. So very cool. Okay, so I'm negotiating. We are going to leave the violet flame up, available for you until midnight. That's why I was like, I can't say I was really negotiating. I was asking, can we leave this up? Because we all want to continue to surrender more of the forgiveness. And it's a really big one, the forgiveness of self. Forgiving yourself for whatever you thought you did. So, even after we finish here, you can continue to surrender. Whether your personality is doing it, like you could sit down and, write a list of all the people that you want to forgive, and that's awesome. Or whether it is just you are going about the rest of your day and you are trusting that your higher self is working on it. It is exactly perfect, however it shows up for you. And just know that it is available for you. We are going to be back here on, I guess it's April 14th, April 15th. In 2 weeks, we're going to be back here doing this again, and we'll see what shows up, what claim of truth that we will be working on. Let's see, is there anything else I want to tell you? Mastery starts tomorrow, so if there's anybody who is interested in taking the mastery class, send them to us, send them to me. Happy to have a conversation with them. There's also some great videos on YouTube. And Jill, I am happy to help you with your stomach. For sure. I'll continue to work on that. And thanks, Ash. I appreciate that. And yeah, we'll be back here in 2 weeks. And I'm gonna tell you something really cool. Y'all probably know this already. My daughter is having a baby this month. And so possibly when we come back here in 2 weeks, that means it is the 15th. When we come back in 2 weeks, I may be able to tell you that I have a grandson. Isn't that cool? Isn't that freaking cool? Whole nother level of fun and excitement. Awesome. Amanda, you can continue to ask for forgiveness. Listen, just one last piece, and then I will seal the field. Work with the quantum field. Work with the field. Work with your higher self, and work with the higher selves of the people who you want forgiveness from. You can sit and just ask Source Creator God, ask your healing team, ask my higher self, can you please help me release this pain, this fear, this anger, this need to be right, whatever it is. Help me to release that so that I can improve my relationship. It will transform your relationships in ways that you cannot even imagine. Like when you start forgiving somebody, just energetically forgiving them, you will be amazed the next time you see them how different they are. Because energy is real and it absolutely works. So just keep doing that and surrender, 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 surrender. Okay. Jill, I'm going to keep helping you, but I am going to seal the field unto the light of that one true Source Creator God. where all the magic comes from, where all the abundance, the love, the joy, the forgiveness, all of it comes from Source. I thank my healing team. I thank Melchizedek for the assistance, and I thank each and every one of you who took a little bit of time on a Monday night to come and heal some of your stuff, heal some stuff for some other people, and definitely start transforming the field in a whole new way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am in so much gratitude for each and every one of you. I love you, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Have a great evening.